day, everyone. Jeff Ross here, tuning in from, where am I in the world these days? Oregon, on the Pacific coast of the west coast of America. We've got Daryl Simmons here and Dave Miller here joining me as a couple of team players here with this AURUM opportunity. And tonight's call is one of those ones that you definitely want to make sure you tune in. So turn off the mobile distractions, make sure that the kids are in bed, whatever it is that you got to do just to be fully tuned in right here, right now, because this one is a life-transforming conversation. And just before we get into it and unpack this amazing opportunity called AURUM, I just want Daryl and Dave, give them the opportunity here to share how has AURUM transformed their lives. So Daryl, over to you first.
Freedom of choices that are coming around that I've never had before for my family. And that's just someone I take care of my wife on a pension. She's on a disability pension with Huntington's disease. So having lived on a strict budget from paycheck to paycheck for a long time, having the freedom of not having to stress about that lately has been a godsend.
Yeah. And, some of the things that we wouldn't wish on our worst enemies, but, those things are our defining factors. They give us a hunger. They give us, the why to make this happen, right? I remember way back when I first started, having been put on a disability pension, 15 odd years ago, and going, oh, crap, what am I going to do to provide for my family? And, I love the online world on how it gives us the flexibility and as you said, the freedom of choices to show up when we want to show up, how we want to show up, where we want to show up. And, it's 4:00 in the morning here on the Pacific coast of, America. But, that's when you find that thing that makes you obsessed. You just can't stop talking about it. That's when you know that you've hit that ikigai, that sweet spot. And Daryl, I just love the softness that you can bring to a conversation because of the way that you show up and the way that you serve your community and your team in that space. It's a beautiful thing to watch. So thank you. Dave, over to you, mate. How's AURUM transforming your life?
Well, in many ways, firstly, just through community connection, growing as a person and as a leader, I guess, in what I'm doing with so many amazing people around me. But again, like Daryl said, just the financial benefits have been amazing. Like instead of, stressing about where I'm going to get money to pay this and pay that. Yep, I'm not, making $1 million yet, but those, stresses are slowly but surely sort of dissipating, I suppose. And, when the bills come in, I know I've got money there to be able to pay them at least now. So it's just made, an incredible amount of difference in the stress levels, I guess. And then that, I guess, follows through with, how you can show up in life and, whether that be online or personally, because that part of that stress is taken away from you and that just enables you to think clearly and be a better, a better version of you, I think.
Brilliant. And so what I'm hearing is it's giving you some more breathing room to get it. Yes. To start focusing on being out of survival mode all the time and now start to focus on creating mode,
starting to thrive instead of survive.
Well, yeah, we're always consuming. We're always in that space of like just making ends meet. Just, looking at what's the next bill we're going to pay, all of that sort of thing. We're always consuming. I can't remember who I said it now. It was some famous person. I've gone blank on who said it. But basically the quote was, if we're always consuming, we're living in the life of death. But if we're in that space of creating, we're in that space of thriving. We're in that life space. So this really is a life or death conversation. If we're always in survival mode, we've got to always consume because we've got to think about the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. Whereas here, it gives us a freedom of choice, as Daryl said. It gives us room to breathe and actually start to focus on creating, which also then helps us to start to thrive. So Daryl and Daz, it's been a brilliant journey with you, building this awesome community with you over the last 6 months. I love the way that you both serve, and I'm very grateful for everything that you bring to the table. But we've also got some amazing leaders in this community that are rising as well. and going through that space of going from survival to thriving. And I can see Rob and Jordan here commenting along, and I just love hearing each and individual stories of how AURUM is breathing life into the conversation again. So thanks, guys. I'm going to dive into the presentation side of this conversation now. And if you're tuning in from anywhere around the globe, especially our Australian community, let me know where you're tuning in from, please. And if you're new here, drop a 3 in the comments. And if you're, been on this journey for us a while now, and you're craving for that life-giving opportunity that could be the thing that just helps you to transform your life, well, welcome. Drop a 1 in the comments for me. Just let me know. And that's my absolute pleasure to be your guide on this journey, right? And I really do see this as a guide on the journey. Since the last 6 months, I have personally made over $360,000 in commission since I've been on during this space. And that's in commission, right? So I'm going to talk about 4 aspects of AURUM. We're going to talk about the comp plan. We're going to leave that towards the end. There is an affiliate program attached to this. It's absolutely not compulsory, but when you find something that this good, you want to talk about it with your friends, your family, and everybody you know, you might as well leverage what's there on the table, right? If there's money on the table, let's go get some for our family and let's go help others do the same thing. So 360,000, and I want you to put that in context. That's USDT, so it's closer to 540,000 Australian dollars in 6 months. Now, that's through leveraging the compensation plan, to be transparently here, but also what I have seen happening in the technology space on the AI bots that we're going to walk you through. My family and I have personally got around 6 figures invested in this company now, and we're seeing anywhere from 15 to 17% ROI per month. And so I don't know where you can start to see those type of returns on our money, getting the most bang for our buck in our traditional ecosystem. So let me walk you through on how this works. We're going to unpack 4 parts tonight. We're going to unpack the XAI Bot, which is the foundation. We're going to talk quickly about the real world assets bot, which is on the gold market. And we're going to talk about one of the newest things that's hit the market, which is the world's first non-custodial AI agent called Neuro. And we're going to unpack why everybody's talking about that, even all the industry magazines and everything in between. And then I'm also going to unpack and show you clearly on how you can use this 3x3 team building strategy on how to leverage this amazing compensation plan that has brought in around about $60,000 a month into my family's lives. Currently, I'm sitting here on the coast of Oregon, looking out at the waves here on the Pacific coast. It's a beautiful spot, but it's all thanks to opportunities like this that are helping us to not just breathe, but actually start to thrive and create that life by design. Let's get started and let me walk you through it. All right, so slides, here we're going to go. Daz, I'm just going to bring you back up here, mate. Make sure that the slides are all working here before we get started. We don't want to have the same issue happening again. You see my slides there. Welcome to AURUM.
No, I can't. No? I haven't got them live on the screen with us at the moment.
Can you bring it up live then, please? All right, I got it. There we go.
Now we can see your screen.
All right, now can you see the slides?
Well, I can, yes.
All right, well, you can remove yourself from the stage now. Let's get this one started. Thank you very much, Dazza. Well, welcome to AURUM, guys. This is an amazing community that has been around since 2023, and it's my absolute pleasure to be your guide on this journey. So AURUM is a decentralized fintech company. Now, let me unpack a couple of words here, because if you're new to this industry, people like me, what is fintech? Well, essentially, it's just a made-up word. No, it's a combination of words, right? It's the finance industry and the technology industry, and it's come together. And AURUM, in every right, you hear it from the CEO, Mr. Brian Benson, and a few of the other corporate leaders in this space. We would like to think that AURUM, well, that's what they said from their space, is AURUM is an AI-first company, right? So they're leveraging AI in the finance space and leveraging decentralization in the crypto markets there to be able to create technology that creates this beautiful ecosystem, which is called AURUM. So before we get started, it's very important that like the stories that I have just shared with you personally, and what you've heard from Dave and Daz and the rest of our community, and this presentation as well, it's shared in a way to empower you, to equip you, to show you what is possible, right? But never be taking anything we say here as financial advice. We are not financial advisors. We are affiliates of this company. And, there should be never ever expecting a guarantee of results. Every investment carries risk. Your outcomes depend on your personal skills, market understanding, and risk tolerance. Don't go comparing your journey to my journey. I've been doing this for a little while now, got a lot of experience in this space. But hey, if you could go and make 1%, 5%, 10%, 20%, 30%, depending on what you bring into the table of the numbers that we mentioned here. The person who introduced Josh, who introduced him and whatnot, they're making multiple millions of dollars in this space. But you should never go compare your journey to their journey. But hey, success leaves clues. So now we've got the disclaimer out of the way. It's very, very important that we need to make sure that all of this is brought into the right expectations here. And, we're not setting you up for failure. We're setting you up for success. Let's get started. So AURUM has run by a corporate entity team here. Over 35 top-tier professionals with extensive experience in the finance and blockchain and AI trading space. We have 8 data analysts, and 10 software developers and 7 financial analysts on the team here at the corporate level. Most of them all working from places that, used to work from Binance, Morgan Stanley, Budget, IBM blockchain, with over 12 years experience in this space. And so that's really important to take note, because we're being led by a community, a leadership that has experience to know how to navigate, how to pivot and adjust the sails here. When calm waters are growing, great, let's go fast. When there's stormy waters here in our space, well, we've got people who know how to navigate and change the tack of the sail to help steer us in that right space, to be able to look after us and create a safe ecosystem for all of us to step up and thrive in. Mr. Brian Benson, when I started to look at this, one of the first questions I had to ask is, who is the leader? Who is the CEO? Who has their finger on their pulse to be able to help us to be able to do just that, navigate this whole area? And when I heard it was Brian Benson, and I heard of a little company called Binance, and my ears pricked up. And I started going down the rabbit hole, and I started Googling, who is Brian Benson? Who is all this? And I was thinking, and I encourage you to go do the same thing. Binance was one of the world's first fintech unicorns, and they did that in just under 1 year. And Brian was one of the main driving forces there, especially in the Latin America space here, to be able to help Binance become the company that it is today. Well, he is the CEO of our company here at AURUM. So he's someone who's already been there, done that, and he's someone who gets to speak on the stages like the Satoshi Roundtable, the Forbes Financial Council, the big crypto blockchain spaces all around the globe. And so someone who has seen the nature of this beast unfold and has a familiarity with what things are happening in this space for the last 27 years, I think is a very, very strong play out the gate. So thank you, Mr. Brian, for being our CEO of our company. Let's just quickly hear a message from Brian. I think this is a very important message just to hear from the man himself about the vision, but also the similarities of what he sees between AURUM versus Binance.
We're on a mission to create 1,000 millionaires that don't have $1 million today. So if we can come up with a system whereby there's hundreds of thousands of people in there, but 1,000 of these people turn into millionaires, then those assets are inside of our platform. That turns us into a unicorn right away. And so that's really the goal that I have as an executive at the company, is how do we get people that don't have $1 million today to get them to $1 million through saving, through yield-bearing assets, through a lot, compounding interest, through a lot of these things that have been around for a long time, but that not everyone in the world uses. And these are tools that are super important to get us there. So that's how we're measuring it internally, is if we can get to the point where we have 1,000 people that have become millionaires through our system and through working with our products, then that gets us really close to the unicorn valuation. And we want to be a fintech unicorn. I think Binance was the fastest fintech unicorn ever in the history. I think it took less than 6 months. We used to have a slide about that in our pitch deck. So I'm pretty sure I've done this before. I've been involved in one of the fastest growing fintech unicorns in the world. And I think what we have at AURUM is actually very similar to when I started at Binance.
So something what we've got here is very similar to what he had at Binance. And so that pricked up my ears when I first heard that. It's like, okay, you go where the trends are, where the timing is. And let's face it, AI is transforming the world, whether we like it or love it, whatever it is, right? It is happening. And so we have a choice. We have a choice to go, right, let's go get informed, educated, so we can go from informed to forming and be part of the pioneering in the new space and be at the right time, at the right place conversation. And so that is what's happening and unfolding right now. I truly believe that we're going to eclipse that 1,000 millionaires and create that billion-dollar community here with AURUM, because we're already seeing millionaires pop up within this community within their first 12 months, their first 6 months of being part of it all. Now, the only question is are you ready to learn what you need to learn to go and experiment, to become familiar with what is happening in this space, to go be part of that and ride that wave? If you are, great, you're in the right place. If this conversation starts to scare you or starts to, freak you out a little bit, great, you're in the right place. We are here to support you every step of the way. However, it needs to be a partnership, right? We will do our part. We will take ownership and accountability and responsibility for our actions and how we can be of service to you. You need to meet us at the same level. And when we can have that, beautiful things can happen. So let's just also get back into it as well. Mr. Andrew Isaacs is our Chief Operating Officer here with AURUM. I love the fact that, we've got a brilliant CEO who has major wisdom and experience. And actually, Brian is one of the most humble guys that you'll ever meet in your life as well. He's got the vision for what we're doing here. And it's just a beautiful vision to partner up with him, because I can fit my vision inside his vision, and so can you. Andrew Isaacs, he's someone who's looking after the security side of things, the infrastructure side of things, the technical side of things here as our CEO. Someone who's worked for Morgan Stanley, Galaxy Digital, has managed over $23 billion in transactions over the last 18 years. You can start to see, right, we've got something here that is backed by some serious players here to be able to be one of the world's first, crypto neobank ecosystems here. And that's exactly what, AURUM is building. And it's just a privilege to be a part of it here as one of their main affiliates, and, all the other people that here have joined us on this journey. So, the key achievements here to highlight, AURUM has been running since 2023, and there's a few things I'm going to walk you through and unpack around that. The main bot is the XAI Bot, which is a product that is on the AURUM shelf. We have over $600 million trading in volume on that bot and that technology. They've launched over 8 products. When I first started only 6 months ago, we had the XAI Bot and a couple of others, but now they've launched into the RWA space, the real world assets, into the non-custodial space, and a couple of other products in there too. But they've launched 8 products in just that short time. This is actually out of date now, this slide. I believe there are actually 200,000 plus AURUM users as clients and partners of this ecosystem who have joined so fast. When I first started back in January 3rd, there were only about 40 to 50,000 AURUM users. So you can see we're on an exponential curve of climbing. The world is starting to hear about what AURUM has to offer. And it's not a matter of when people hear about it, it's only about when. So congratulations, you are part of the first, 300, 400, 500,000 people who are hearing about AURUM and exploring to see if it's a fit for you. So AURUM, as I said, we're run by, a corporate team who have got massive experience in this space. We're not just trying to figure it out as we go. These people have been there, done that. And also, this is a very fast moving industry, and we want to make sure that we're compliant and we've got the legal infrastructure in place. And it's so awesome to know that we've got a company that is built on transparency, multi-jurisdictional legal foundation. As you can see here, the AURUM investment ecosystem, the head office is in Dubai. We've got, registration there in Hong Kong. The company has just, bought a space in Poland, which gives them what they need to operate out of Poland in that space. And also the Neuro Technologies group here is actually licensed and registered there in Canada, one of the toughest places in the world to be able to even look at getting this in the crypto space especially. And they've got spaces in Australia and America unfolding as we go. This is a global multi-jurisdictional space, and is 100% operating from above the line, not below the line, doing everything out in the light and doing everything in the way. AURUM's not tried to, go with the curve. They are the curve. They are setting the standard of what it looks like to operate in this space. So how do we get access to this ecosystem is always a really good first place to start, right? We know that it's got backed by some pretty serious players in the ecosystems, in the finance space. We know that they're doing things that right from above the board. Now, how do we get started? Well, it's just $20 a year, 20 USDT. So the crypto version of the US dollar is just $20 a year to subscribe for the ecosystem, to be a part of what we have to offer. And then all of the products that are on the shelf, you basically get in where you fit in. The lowest barrier to entry is normally only $100, but we've got people who have put hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on this technology, because why not? When you see something that is working and is producing the fruit that it has to offer, you want to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck and getting the biggest harvest that you can. Right, I'm going to walk you through 3 products now, and then I'm going to walk you through the affiliate program that's attached to this side of the conversation. Tonight, we're not going to talk all about all 8 products. We're just going to talk about the Neuro Bot, the real world assets space, and the XAI Bot. So let's get started. With Neuro, it is the world's first non-custodial AI trading agent. And so it is taking AI trading execution to the next level and creating a transparent space where we've got control of how this is operating with our money that goes in and comes out. And it's creating the technology there with the non-custodial architecture. This one has actually been spoken around on all the stages at the moment. It's in all the industry mags. Everybody's talking about Neuro. What is Neuro? Who is Neuro? And checking it all out. And this is the reason why, is because, top tier market access with what we've got here to offer. But, let's talk about some of the core advantages that we have here in this space. As I said, it's the non-custodial architecture that makes this one of the most unique things on the market right now, with full capital over your full control over your funds, and leveraging AI technology to do the trading for us, taking the human element out of it, so all of our emotions and our reactiveness is taken away. And so using that 24/7 disciplined performance to continuously monitor and execute without interruption and emotional deviation is a very important fact. Leveraging AI agents in that space to operate strategies with defined parameters, trading on the crypto markets, whether it be USDT, Bitcoin, Ripple, Solana, whatever it is, it's trading on those pairs for us on the shorts and the longs of the up and downs of the market swings. And actually, the more volatile that the crypto market space can be, the more effective that this technology kicks in and starts to perform. We're seeing anywhere from 1 to 30%, 1% per day, 30% per month ROI with the Neuro bot here, leveraging this amazing system. And so we are also creating a Neo bank. If you want any more information around how Neuro is working, please reach out to the person who's invited you to this conversation. We can get on a call and unpack it together if we need to, whatever it takes for you to go deeper into that space. I'm just giving you the 10,000-foot overview today to help you, to equip you and empower you and point you in the right direction. But the Neuro bot is absolutely amazing. Personally, I've seen my money double in just over 2 months. We've seen that with a 30% ROI per month. It's pretty cool. We've also got a neobank app, right? So on your phone, whether it be Apple or Google Play Store, the app is operational on there with the neobank there, and it's actually got access to a card. And I've actually got my physical card. It is shipped to me in Launceston, Tasmania. I just haven't been able to access it whilst I'm here in America. But I know quite a few of our community have actually got access to their physical card now. And you can what it does, right, is it takes the crypto and it converts the crypto back into fiat currency for you, so you can spend your crypto on everyday expenses. I've been using the virtual card attached to my wallet on my iPhone. Absolutely smooth and brilliant. Being able to use it for, if you know, DoorDash, to pay for Airbnbs, to, you know, put petrol in my car. There actually hasn't been anywhere yet, and I say that because I've used it extensively for the last 2 months, but I haven't come across anywhere yet where I haven't been able to use the AURUM card through the neobank that we have to offer. So there is a card attached that you can get access to as well. Excuse me, I feel a bit congested here today. So we've talked about the AURUM card there, and we'll talk about the partner team balance in a second there. But as I said, it's an ecosystem. It's just not a one-trick pony, like a one product we're done and done. They are building an ecosystem, and there are new products coming off the shelf, if you will, to support this ecosystem pretty much on a monthly basis. It's pretty exciting to see what's happening. You know, AURUM are one of those pioneer companies that are really transforming the landscape of this fintech space. So what is RWA? Well, it stands for real world assets, right? A lot of people, you know, especially in the gold and silver space, you know, in the stores of value space here, are looking at, you know, that as the economy can potentially collapse. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, you know, looking at getting physical assets to be able to have the store of value happening for our global economy. You know, so this is about capital preservation. This is about being smart with our money here and putting it into something that is tangible, that, you know, that has been running around, I should say, for centuries, if not, you know, millennia. You know, gold is one of those things that, you know, the markets have been trading on since day dot, really. And so using AI smart technology here in this space, combining it with the gold market here, we're able to leverage one of the world's first RWA, so real world assets, bots that is trading on the gold space, but also giving us space to be able to get access to gold in our hands. So, you know, leveraging what we've got here with AURUM, you know, basically this is a 50-50 approach. So 50% of the money that you invest on the gold allocation is going towards purchasing physical gold, which you can collect at 12 months of maturity. Once your funds are mature in that space, you can go and get the gold allocation in physical gold, or you can choose to have that gold in tokenized gold. Yeah, obviously subject to terms and delivery conditions on that space. But essentially, I put $10,000 on the gold space. $5,000 has gone towards that into the gold allocation. And when the maturity of that happens, they're purchasing the gold at a 30% structural discount on my behalf and your behalf as well, to be able to get access to physical gold. The other 50% of that is actually going on to the AI bot that is trading on the gold future space in this market. So leveraging normally when you buy gold, right, you buy it, you store it, and it sits there, and you don't make money off it until you potentially sell that gold, and you're selling it at a higher value than what you bought it for, right? So taking 50% of that, putting that aside into gold allocation, and then taking the other 50% here to drive it on the AI bot technology. So we're actually making a return on our investment, you know, on a daily basis there in the execution space, is trading on the gold markets. So we're seeing around 7 to 10% ROI per month on this technology. And it's pretty cool seeing, you know, the AI tech trading doing the thing for us on the gold futures market there, you know, trading on that pairs of the, you know, XAUT versus the USDC market space. And as I said, it trades on the ups and down swings of that for us on our behalf. So you get in where you fit in with most of our products here, whether it be the Neuro bot, whether it be the RWA, or whether it be the XAI bot. Just going backtrack for the Neuro bot, the minimum investment to get started on that is $250. But we have got people who there put hundreds of thousands of dollars on that product as well. And you can do the same thing here in the gold space. The minimum investment to get started is 100 USDT. So as I said, we're trading in the crypto space. So 50-50, like $50 is going into the trading, $50 is going to the gold futures for you. And you can get to collect that gold in 1 year time and the maturity of that, and get access to 30% spot price on the gold. Here we can put 25,000. It's the same deal. 12.5 on the trading, 12.5 on the futures, and away we go, right? So you get in where you fit in. There is never any judgment here, but so yeah. The AURUM XAI bot here is probably the foundation of what we're building here. And if you're interested in the affiliate program too, we have to make sure that we've got, certain things to hit rank requirements in there. And I'll unpack that in a second for you. But I would go far as saying that the XAI bot is the primary product of the AURUM ecosystem, with how it's all designed and the way it's doing things. And the RWA, the Neuro bots and all that's the thing, they're extra add-ons to help us, get more bang for our buck. But this is the foundation. This is the product that has basically AURUM has built the backbone of the company off. This product has been going around since 2023. And so it's an AI bot that is trading on the crypto market space, leveraging multi-pair trading, as I've said, with the same other products in that space. You can start to see patterns merge here, right? Using automated performance. And as I said, it's got proven returns now with actually close on 3.5 years, not 2.5 years of consistent performance, demonstrating where we're seeing at least, anywhere from 10 to 17% per ROI per month, depending on where you get in. So let me unpack that for you. As I said, we're seeing results from February 2023 right through to, April 2026 when this slide was created. And we've seen pretty decent returns. We haven't seen a losing month yet on the technology in this space. And so to know that we're getting, better than what our traditional ecosystem can offer, it's no wonder, this company has 200,000 users and climbing on that space, and you're grabbing people's attention to be able to really leverage what's happening here in this AI finance space. So how is the profit distributed with the XAI bot? So it's basically, as I said, it's a bot that's trading on the crypto market space, on the longs and the shorts of it all, and it's trading on the major crypto markets for us. So the AI technology is doing the trading for us. We don't have to go and learn how to be attached to screens 24/7 a day, to execute trades. It's doing it for us, leveraging AI technology. And so the profit distribution, is a really important note to take fact here, because when, we want to make sure that we're supporting the ecosystem in a way that supports us and helps the company to thrive. So need to understand here, when you put in $100 into the bot, your client's share of the profits I'm talking about, not the actual, the capital that you get started with. I'm talking about the profits. So if you put in $1,000, the bot is trading at 1% for that day. 1% of $1,000, what's that? That's $10. So $10 in that case, 60% of that is going to go into your profits. So $6, $4 of that, the 40% is going to go towards the company share. As you put more in, or as your bot more matures and it starts to calculate, right? It goes from 100 to 250 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 50,000 and above. You start to see that sliding scale of that profit and that company share, go up in your favor, right? So for the ultimate pack here, we're seeing 95% of the client share go back to the client and 5% go to the company share. You'll also see there that the basic, you're seeing around about 10.5% ROI per month. On the ultimate, you're seeing closer to that 17% ROI per month. So the more money you can put in to get started, the faster the technology and the better it's going to work for you. But there is absolutely no judgment. You get in where you fit in. We've had people start at $100 and thrive in this community. And we've had people start at hundreds of thousands of dollars and thrive in this community. That's what I think I love about this. The day you actually activate your bot, everybody, no matter where you get started, is winning from day one. And so, yeah, as I said, we're projected company profitability. We're seeing around 17.5% per month. Actually, as I've been in this now since 6 months in this ecosystem, I'm seeing around 16 to 17% ROI per month on our capital going in that space. Okay, here's a really good sort of math model to, math is not my strong suit. I love to use diagrams like this to really highlight it, to how the compounding effect can work. Compounding, as it's been quoted several times, is the eighth wonder of the world by Albert Einstein, right? And when you start to see this going to work, you just go, yeah, I can see what you mean. $10,000 for this hypothetical example, so it was 10%, we're trading at around about 16% per month ROI. If you left that money into like in the 12-month account, and for this technology with the AI bot, I'm going to go over it in a second, but it has a 12-month lockup period. You can get access to it earlier in that 12 months, but it's a bit like a term deposit or a CD account. You need to have it in there to see the best return in that space to be able to get the best thing for you can. However, you can withdraw the capital if you need to. There are ways that you can do that. But you can see here as a hypothetical model, $10,000 in 4 months is going to be just under, $18,500 in return. In 8 months, we're going to see, 34,000, just over 40,000. In 1 year, this bot is generating around about $63,000 on that original 10,000. So if you just put 10,000 on the bot, you did absolutely nothing else, you left it in there for the 1 year, you would see that come back to a return of around 63,000. It could be more than that, could be a little bit less than that, but depending on how the bot's actually performing during that time. It's pretty cool that you can see this actually in real world. So some of the operating regulations that we need to be aware of here, this is about keeping you informed so you can go from being informed to forming and leveraging the technology and being empowered and equipped to do just that. Seeing projected returns of around 17.5% per month. The minute you put the money onto the bot, your bot is going to work within day one, and you're starting to see those profits on a daily basis, 7 days a week, 365 days for the year, right? So the accumulated profit that you can build in that space, if you don't compound it and you want to withdraw it, and some people have done just that, right? Say for example, put $100,000 in on the technology, and they're living off of the profits for to pay for their everyday bills. So they're withdrawing that on a weekly basis or a monthly basis or even a daily basis. You can do just that, and with the profit margins, you withdrawing, you're seeing a 1% withdrawal fee plus the network fee, which one it is you choose to use, and you can do just that. The capital itself is, as I said, it's got a 12-month period on it. And if you withdraw it early, which you can do on the 1st, the 10th, and the 20th day of each month, you will see an early redemption fee of 35% after that 1 year, right? After the 1 year, there is no withdrawal fee on the principal amount. And you can turn on the reinvest button, so your profit is going back into the technology and you're using the compounding effect. You need to be aware too, every time that you start a new deposit amount, that starts its own clock for its own early withdrawal fee. So I look at this as a term deposit, like a bank account operates. I'm going to put my capital into the term deposit, and I'm going to see it mature over 12 months, and I'm going to see a pretty decent return on investment in that space. So it's operating in that same theory. But I want you to come back here and have a look at this screen, right? $10,000 within 5 months. $21,000. If I withdrew the money at the 5-month mark, I still wore the 35% early redemption fee. I'm still going to be ahead than what I originally started with in that space. Yes, I think that's a really important thing to note, that your capital is going to work for you. Leaving it in there, of course, for the 12 months, you're going to get the most bang for your buck. So only ever put in what you can afford to, go through your risk reward conversation for your own personal space. But just remember, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing this information here from a product basis as an affiliate to, educate you from the understanding point of it all. What you choose to do with your own capital and how you choose to operate it, that is entirely your choice. And I would recommend going to some financial strategists around that space to be able to, unpack that for you. I'm of the person who likes to get in and get my hands dirty and figure it out as I go. But that's just me. And we're all different in that space. So we've talked about the RWA, we've talked about the XAI Bot, we've talked about Neuro. Let's talk about this partner program. Right now, I put up a post there on Facebook the other day. Would you like to come learn how I am personally making $60,000 a month from this amazing opportunity? And transparently, that's through leveraging this amazing partner program. It has literally transformed my life. But this is not about me. We've had other people like Jody and Robin. You've even heard from Daryl and Dave, right? They've made 10s, 20, 30, 40, 50,000. I believe Robin is over 6 figures now. Jody's over 6 figures now. We've got people who are rising up with us in this environment, leveraging this platform to be able to do just this, share the good news with you so you can come and check it out for yourself. And because the company doesn't necessarily, want to invest in TV advertisement or pay-per-click advertisement, they've chosen to leverage the affiliate program. Companies in Asia are transferring billions of dollars from billboard and pay-per-click advertising into micro-influencer style marketing, which is what this conversation relationship looks like, right? They'd rather put their money into supporting their everyday community, people who are leveraging the product and then being able to go out as affiliates. That's what smart companies are doing in today's world. And AURUM is just doing the same as like Nike do, like Amazon does, like any other big company out there with an affiliate program. So let me walk you through on how to really leverage this amazing program, because it really has transformed my lives and thousands of other people's lives around this journey with us. There are a few types of income that you need to take advantage of here. We've got the direct sales commissions. We've got the shareholder bonus, the profit share. Let me walk you through this and unpack all of this for you. Right, so you may have heard me at the halfway through the presentation saying that the XAI Bot is one of the primary foundation products. Not just because it's also it's been going for the longest. It's got that 3.5 year trading history, which I think is a very important note to take care of. And that space, but this is the foundation of the comp plan as well. As you can see here, we get paid on just about every aspect of it all for the XAI Bot. The other products like the Neuro, we're only taking advantage of the volume that comes through and the profit share that comes through and the shareholder bonus. So I would go far as saying that the XAI Bot is the primary, and all of the other products that you choose to add on to that. Personally, I'm leveraging just about everything that I can in this ecosystem. But if you had to make a choice, I would start with the XAI Bot and then add on as you go. Is the best way to take advantage of this compensation plan. As I said, success leaves clues, right? $60,000 a month leveraging this amazing platform and increasing, on a pretty fast exponential space, and having others be able to duplicate that and start to see them earning their first 10,000 a month, 20, 30, 40,000 a month as we go together is pretty exciting. So how do we rank up in this compensation plan? And so I want to make it very clear here, this is not an MLM company. What makes the difference between an MLM company and an affiliate company? There are multiple factors to that, but the main thing is in the MLM industry, in the compensation plans, especially ones I personally all started, you can't necessarily outrank the person who brought you in that space, right? So there's always essentially, the person who brought you in the MLM space is benefiting from everything that you bring in that, and there always are. And there's nothing wrong with the MLM space. I've actually done very, very well in that and thrived in those compensation plans. You just need to understand the key differences between them so you can be empowered to be able to leverage what's here on the table. Right, so an affiliate program, especially in this one here, we can essentially outrank the person who brought us in. And it's very important to note that we do this because as I unpack this, I want to be able to set you up for success. So you're putting the oxygen mask on first and you're looking after your family and your loved ones. But through that, you're giving out of abundance and you're serving out of abundance versus lack and scarcity. And we're able to do this together empowered, right? So how does this work? Well, quite simply, we need 3 things that we need to tick off to go all the way to the top of the comp plan. We need our personal contribution. So you can see here on Voyager, you need $100 on the AI technology. That is the XAI bot or the RWA bot, which really goes towards that personal contribution. So you need at least $100 to get started on that. Please don't just think that your minimums be your maximums. You get in where you fit in. I started with 5,000 when I first started. So $100 on that. And then $300, $750, as you go the ranks, you can use your bonus money if you choose to be able to meet those personal contributions. And as you get to the higher ranks, you can see here, the next rank that I'm about to hit is Mythos. I need to personally have $50,000 trading on that top account. Yes, you can have multiple accounts. And one of the strategies that we talk about is a family pack. We have the parent account and a couple of child accounts below that to be able to leverage this compensation plan. But if you want to really come back and go into it and find what's the best plan for you, reach out again to the person who's invited you. Let's set up a game planning session and let's unpack this. But coming back to the basics, so it's $100 for the personal contribution. Then you need to worry about legacy volume points, which is the qualified LV. Essentially is the volume, what's required below your original position there. And so whatever you put in on this top position, this is why we talk about multiple positions, whatever you put on this top position, you need to make sure that all of the volume is below your position to be able to qualify for the legacy volume points. So like if I put $1,000 on here and I put $10,000 on this position, on the position below it, it's not going, the original $1,000 is not going to be counted, right? That's going to be counted for the person above them in their volume. So you need to understand that the compensation legacy volume points are everything below your original position, not your personal contribution as well. So legacy volume points, personal contribution, and the only other requirement that we need to focus on is, rank ups. Right, we need to make sure that we have at least 3 legs ranking up all the way to the top of the compensation plan. At Voyager, Vanguard, all the way to Oracle, you only need 2 legs ranking up with you. Once you hit Prime, you need that 3rd leg getting activated. And so what I would say is once you sort of get towards Vanguard Pro Nexus, you need to start focusing on building that 3rd leg as well, so you can keep the momentum going with you as you go all the way to the top. So as I said, personal contribution, volume, and rank requirements. Let's talk about that just quickly as well. So Vanguard Pro, you need 25,000 LV, which actually equates to 62,500 total volume, because only 40% of the money that's going in is actually qualified for the LV points. It's quite simple once you get in there to work it all out. You just work out what the difference is, what you need on the different rank requirements, and then just times it by 2.5. That'll give you the total volume points that you need to be able to meet the total legacy volume requirements there. But once you do, you start hitting the different ranks up, your referral, instant referral commission starts to go up, and your profit share margins start to go up as well. So at Oracle, you're earning 15% profit share. That means the profits, as we talked about with the XAI Bot, the client share and the company share, that type of thing, they're paying the commissions out of the profits, out of the daily profits from the company share. So let's say there's $100 million trading this today, and the bot trades at 1%. There's $1 million in profit that the company has made for everybody. The portions of where they're all getting out, the client shares getting paid back to the client. And then what the company uses for the company share, that's where they're paying the commissions out of that daily profit performance space. And so 15%, 17.5%, in the profit share of what our team below us is making, it gets pretty exciting. Personally, I'm seeing around $2,500 to $3,000, some days $4,000 days passively from the profit share side of the conversation. And then you also got the referral bonus that comes in. The percentage of that is going up the line as well. And it's also very important to note that, let's say, if, in my team, I'm a prime, and, in my first leg, I've got an Oracle. We're not all getting 15% and 17.5%. We're getting paid the difference. And that's why I said, when people can outrank you, because they've got all the right requirements. If someone outranks you, then the profit share is going up to the highest person. You're missing out on that daily profit share. If they're at the same rank as you are, then the profit's just going to go to the person who is in your downline to hit that profit share. So it's really important to note here that you really want to be building this with the end in mind and staying at least 1 to 2 ranks ahead of your people. So you're seeing that 1%, that 2%, that 3.5% profit going up to you, and everybody's winning together. I can answer questions on that a little bit later if we need to. But you say, like, to hit the rank of Oracle, you need 2 Vanguard Pros, right? So you need 1 Vanguard Pro in leg 1, another Vanguard Pro in Vanguard 2, and you need at least $250,000 in volume. You need $3,000 on your personal contribution. Once you tick all those requirements, there you go. You've got the instant bonus, and we've seen people now hit the 5,000, the 10,000, the 20,000, the 50,000, the 100,000 just in our little team. And it ain't so little anymore. In the last 6 months, Josh, underneath Josh's position, who brought me in, we've seen over 5,000 people join the team. Personally, in the position below me, there's over 3,800 people in our team that have joined us in the last 6 months. And once you start hitting some of the higher ranks, the shareholder bonus is activated as well. And so the shareholder bonus is quite cool, because what they're doing is they're putting every quarter a percentage of the global profit. So from the global economy of the whole system, from the 200,000 plus, team users that are amongst the AURUM community, they're taking a percentage of that profit and putting it into a pool. And then depending on your rank on how much you get of the shareholder bonus in that space, and they're paying that out on a quarterly basis. Everything that gets paid out is instant. It's into your wallet, and then you can put it to your wallet, to your exchange that day, and transfer it into your bank if you choose, or use the AURUM card, or however you want to use it. But the payouts are instant. So I'm working very close. I'll probably be on the next week or 2. I will personally qualify for the $100,000 bonus. I know Josh has already done that. He's working on his $150,000 bonus. The person who brought Josh in, HP, has been with the team now for about 18 months. He's already qualified for the $1 million bonus. So when Brian Benson talks about, creating 1,000 millionaires, I truly believe this is the vehicle that we're going to be able to achieve that goal. And I would go far as saying, actually, my goal for our team here is to go do that 1,000 millionaires just in our team alone. Whether it takes us 12 months to 2 years to 3 years to do it, I believe we have a vehicle that we can go do that here, building this together, and rising tides raise all ships. Now, as I said, you only need 3 legs to go all the way to the top of the compensation plan. So if you're a builder like I am, who has personally put in probably over 200 people now, I've lost count, to be honest, I haven't needed to put those 200 people direct to me wide. I've helped the team, and we're encouraging, Josh and I have created a culture of generosity here, where we're encouraging the team to go put people strategically. So we're helping our team to hit ranks, because for us to keep growing, we need you to hit ranks, and so do you need to do that to create that duplicatable pattern down through. So we're wanting to build wide, yes, with the 3 there and get that balance going, but we also want to go really deep here and create that 3x3 strategy. And I think this has worked really well for us. The proof's in the pudding. Collectively, we've seen well over $1 million of commission just in our team here in the last 6 months. It's pretty awesome to be a part of, yeah. So we also elite, and I believe there's quite a few of our team here. Personally, I had other commitments here on my adventure here in America, so I couldn't make it to this one. But we've got people in our team here who are actually flying over right now to go and do this amazing cruise out of Turkey, and just go and rub shoulders with some of the elite, the AURUM leadership there in that space. And so these are leadership retreats that host around about every 90 days. We've already had Maldives. They had the Dubai at the beginning of the year. Now this one, they're doing a cruise there in Turkey, which is pretty cool. And so I can't wait for the next one to open up. I'm pretty sure, we'll have quite a few of our team that qualify for that one as well. And, be able to get to meet each other in person in exotic places around the world. It's pretty awesome to have that high level networking experience. So they run leadership events, as I said. They also run events there in Paris blockchain. I believe Australia has CryptoCon coming here in Australia towards the end of the year, Aurum will be there at that one. They've done, promos around the world. They've done leadership events around the world. And this is a community that's thriving and growing and exploding. And it's an absolute pleasure here to bring you to this community here. And so your future starts here to become part of the Aurum financial world. And thank you very much for giving me your time today to be able to, walk you through how this amazing opportunity is working and unpack it and explore it with us. Now, if you're wanting to, get started here, there's probably the simplest way to get started is to reach out to the person who invited you and go back to them, and they will go through the enrollment process with you. But whilst I'm here, I do want to just quickly just go through what our team and I have set up for you here with our this watch page that you're going through, right? And so if you're needing to get started, you need that little bit extra help. What I personally have done is I have opened up my calendar. So if you're on this page here with the aiwealthcreation.com/Aurum, this button here is going to take you to my calendar. You can personally book in a 20-minute call with me. And one of the very first questions I'm going to ask you is who invited you to this conversation? Because we want to, respect the affiliate process, and I'm going to point you back in the right direction. But if you're wanting to really get into the nitty-gritty of it all and start to game plan on how you can take advantage of this opportunity, go ahead and click on that button, find a time that works for you on my calendar, and go ahead and book an appointment with yours truly. But thank you very much. It's Jeff Ross here tuning in from Oregon, USA. Next week, I'll probably be tuning in from California. I'm on a 3-month trip around America here with my family of 5, and it's all thanks to Aurum that has basically helped me to pave the way financially to make that dream become a reality. We heard from the boys there before, freedom of choice and, having room to breathe. This is what this community is building together. This is what we have at our fingertips, where we can go from survival to thriving. We have story after story after story after story after story of people who are doing just that. Robin Jordan, who's commenting here in the comments now, I know that she started with just $100 on the platform. And in that time, she has made over 6 figures in that last 6 months. She got to go to New Zealand on her birthday with her mates and go and have an amazing experience. And so it's stories like this that really make my heart sing. I've always wanted to be known as a hero maker who creates other hero makers, who creates other hero makers. And it's vehicles like this opportunity that can facilitate that conversation. So I look forward to meeting you in person one day down the road, or joining one of our opportunity calls. I look forward to celebrating you as you rise up the ranks and start to take advantage of this. If that's not for you, awesome. I look forward to seeing you celebrate your success, just leveraging the bots there that are for everybody to take advantage of. Thank you very much for your time. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.